This is the story of Faith Hedgepeth, a vibrant and promising student whose life was stolen in the most brutal way. September 7th, 2012. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. A quiet college town, home to the University of North Carolina, where thousands of bright young minds come to chase their dreams. But on this night, a nightmare was unfolding, one that would haunt the community for nearly a decade, leaving behind a diary of dread that investigators would struggle to decipher for years. Faith was a member of the U.S.A tribe, a driven young woman with aspirations of becoming a pediatrician. She was smart, loved by her friends, and had a bright future ahead of her. On the night of September 6th, she and her roommate, Karina Rosario, went out to a local nightclub called The Library. They had fun, danced, and returned to their off-campus apartment around 2 a.m. Everything seemed normal, but what happened in the hours that followed is a chilling puzzle of violence and mystery. The next morning, Karina returned to the apartment after spending the night at a friend's place. She found the front door unlocked. When she entered Faith's bedroom, she was met with a scene of unimaginable horror. Faith was gone. Her life ended in a violent struggle. The initial investigation painted a grim picture. The scene was chaotic, suggesting a fierce fight for her life. But amidst the disarray, investigators found several bizarre and cryptic clues that would both tantalize and frustrate them for years to come. The first clue was a handwritten note left on a fast food bag near Faith's body. Written in all caps with a black marker, the note read, "I'm not stupid, bitch. Jealous." The handwriting didn't appear to be Faith's. Who wrote it? Was it the killer, taunting their victim? Or was it something else entirely? The word jealous hung in the air, a potential motive, but it pointed in 100 different directions. The ambiguity of the note became a central, maddening feature of the case. Then, there was the voicemail, a pocket dial made from Faith's phone to a friend's around 1:23 a.m. It's a garbled, haunting 3-minute recording. Though much of it is unintelligible, experts who enhance the audio believe they can hear voices, a struggle, and Faith screaming. Some listeners claim to hear her cry out her attacker's name. Others hear multiple voices, both male and female. The recording is a chilling, fragmented echo of Faith's final moments, a ghostly message from beyond the grave. Police analyzed it countless times, but the poor quality made it a source of speculation rather than solid evidence. It added to the growing legend of the case, but it didn't lead them to a suspect. Investigators were also baffled by the DNA evidence. They found male DNA at the scene, specifically on Faith's body and on the murder weapon. This was their golden ticket, a direct link to the killer. They ran the profile through CODIS, the national DNA database, hoping for a match. But nothing came back. The DNA belonged to a ghost, someone not in the system. They tested over 750 men, friends, ex-boyfriends, acquaintances, even strangers who were in the area. Each test came back negative. The case grew colder with each passing year. Faith's family was left in an agonizing limbo, desperate for answers. The "I'm not stupid" note became a symbol of the killer's arrogance, a message that seemed to mock the stalled investigation. Years turned into a near decade. 9 long years. Faith's friends graduated. The town moved on, but the shadow of her unsolved murder lingered. Her family never gave up hope, holding vigils and constantly pleading with the public for any information. For a while, it seemed like the case might never be solved, destined to become another tragic cold case file gathering dust on a shelf. The DNA was the key, but the lock was nowhere to be found. But then, a revolutionary new tool began to change the landscape of cold case investigations: forensic genetic genealogy. This technique uses public DNA databases, like those used for ancestry testing, to build family trees for unknown suspects. By finding distant relatives who have voluntarily uploaded their DNA, investigators can reverse engineer a family tree and zero in on their person of interest. It's the same technology that famously caught the Golden State Killer. In 2021, North Carolina investigators decided to give it a try. They sent the unknown male DNA profile to a private lab specializing in genetic genealogy. And finally, after 9 years of dead ends, they got a hit. The DNA didn't match a criminal, but it did match a relative in a public database. Working backward from that distant cousin, genealogists and investigators painstakingly built a family tree. They traced branches, eliminated possibilities, and slowly, methodically, closed in on one individual. A man who had lived in the Chapel Hill area at the time of the murder, but had never been on the police's radar. His name was Miguel Enrique Salguero-Olivares. He had no significant criminal history that would have put his DNA in the system. He was just a man who had lived nearby, a ghost who had walked away from an unspeakable crime and blended back into society. On September 16, 2021, almost exactly 9 years after Faith's death, police made their arrest. The news sent shockwaves through the community. After so long, there was finally a name and a face to attach to the DNA. The pieces started to fall into place. Salguero-Olivares was reportedly a frequent customer at the nightclub where Faith was last seen. According to some reports, he had a reputation for getting angry when women rejected his advances. Had he followed Faith home that night? Did she reject him, leading to a violent rage? While the exact motive remains part of the ongoing court case, the DNA evidence provided the link that had been missing for so long. The arrest brought a profound sense of relief to Faith's family and the Holly-Wasaponi tribe, but it also brought a fresh wave of grief. Justice was finally on the horizon, but it would never bring Faith back. Her father, Roland, spoke of the long, painful wait, a decade of not knowing who was responsible for his daughter's death. The arrest was not a celebration, but a solemn step toward closure. The story of Faith Hedgepeth is a powerful reminder of the persistence of law enforcement and the incredible power of science. It's a testament to a family's unwavering love and their refusal to let their daughter be forgotten. But it's also a chilling look into the darkness that can hide in plain sight. For 9 years, a killer walked free, perhaps passing by the very memorials set up for his victim. The diary of dread, the note, the voicemail, the unanswered questions, has finally found its last chapter. But the memory of Faith and the life she should have lived will forever cast a long shadow over the quiet college town of Chapel Hill. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into cases that demand to be heard.